pocket picks for Israel is a Volskaya Industries. You have to imagine that at some point you might see a Sombra, but it could be anything. But this is a good pick for them because maybe teams aren't as prepared for this. It's not other teams' picks as far as Assault goes.
And when it comes to preparation, Israel, we do know that they are a heavily coached team. And of course, Horizon is a newer map. So if you're a team that does have more game time in Overwatch and a coach that is helping you out, going this way like Volskaya that you've had more time to digest, more time to really game plan around, it makes all the sense in the world.
Just have to wonder how UK is going to be prepared for this. UK, you know, people have talked, they've done a little bit of trash talk. Most of their trash talk is amongst themselves. You have to think that Christopher is giving Cruz a little bit of guff here and there about how he's dying maybe a little too often, but it's been very amusing to watch.
Well, I mean, they're very self-loathing on top of like throwing shade everyone else's way. They're very equal opportunity, and at some level, you have to respect that.
Yeah, they talk the most trash to each other, and I do respect that, absolutely. United Kingdom does seem to be running the pretty much assault defense basic rollout here as Boombox going to be on the Sombra. Going to hack those packs early on. The big thing here for Boombox is if he gets an EMP early and his team has lost a few, to hold it, because you don't want to give the momentum going into that first push onto second.
Right, because what sometimes happens here is that you will use the EMP in a situation where it's like a 3-on-4, you don't have the fall through on it, and then suddenly you don't have that to fall back on, and you can get snowballed. Israel, though, where they're going to be taking it relatively standard here. Running with the Tracer 76 setup. We'll see which side they decide to go to, and they're going to be running right up the right.
This is a pretty standard rollout for offenses to go through the right side. They want to take their own high ground. Echo sitting back there just looking for a little bit of damage, but now you're going to see the high ground showdown. And up the stairs comes Cruz looking for a little, but has to be careful. They want to play around the mega pack below them.
Cruz got isolated by that Discord orb. The deadly pitch was right there. Cruz lucky to get away with his life. This has been a very nice approach from Israel so far. Very much heavily based on control and sort of putting it in their favor. The problem is that Boombox now is an EMP. He can end this, and there's the EMP. Can hit most of Israel, and suddenly it all comes tumbling down.
That is the issue with doing all the little poke damage that Israel was doing, because all they did was camp that pack that Sombra has hacked. Of course, it regenerates quickly, and it generates EMP charge for Sombra. The ultimate up so quick, they're able to absolutely wipe that up. Boombox already at 55% again on his ultimate ability.
Sometimes it feels like when you're going into a Sombra team that there is a timer on you in the very beginning, where if you get a little bit too fancy, you do give time for the EMP, and a good EMP with the rest of the team up can really ruin your day. And speaking of ruined days, Awkward going to be taking a trip back to the spawn.
Awkward indeed, as they try to roll out, and he just gets crushed, has to wait for his respawn to come back up. Ultimate's about to come online for Israel. Echo's almost got tactical visor, and now you're going to see Boombox rotate around the backside. He just wants to do damage, and more importantly, take damage, so that he can translocate back to his pack and charge his ult.
Not only does the UK have an EMP coming up online here, they have a barrier, they have a blade. This is going to be a near impossible fight for Israel to win, as Cruz dives right in, but is taken right out. I'm not sure it's going to matter too much, but Israel has gotten a lot more here than they really should have gotten, given the ultimate situation. And even if the UK wins this fight, their respawns are going to take so long to get back in that Israel can turn this into a winning fight with one more pickoff.
You bring up an excellent point. Trades favor the offense in this scenario. The spawn's so much closer. The walk back from Volskaya defense is so long, but United Kingdom getting the kills that they need. Israel feels that they need to reset. Echo goes off at the edge. Boombox only at 34%, so Israel's got a decent window for their next push, but they're going to need it. Only 90 seconds left on the clock.
You know, by the time you finish that sentence, it's now only 64%. So the Sombra, he really does build out rather fast here. So whatever window Israel might have had here is rapidly closing. But they are diving in right now. Boombox 80%, 85. We'll have an EMP up in this fight in all likelihood. But with Cappy going to fall there, this is making things a little bit difficult for Israel, as lights might be turning out. Boombox surveying them. You got to think an EMP is coming out, and there it is.
EMP comes post-Transcend. The Transcend had to come in because they know they had the small window, but it is Christopher knocking to the supports around and out. The pulse bomb stuck early. United Kingdom able to absolutely clean up that fight. Silver lining for Israel. They still have a couple ultimates to work, but we're getting down to their last attempt at first point Volskaya.
Final minute here for Israel. If they're going to have a good fight, they're almost certainly going to have to do it off the back of a nice sound barrier engage into a tactical visor. But again, you talk about their window. Boombox now at 73%, and they lose Eco early on. That is the one thing that could not happen to them.
That's absolutely brutal. They do have time to pull back, though, because they don't want to go in 5v6 and then have to kind of slap a last push together. So happening that early is kind of okay.
But let me paint a picture of what could be a train wreck here. They have to immediately roll to the point. They can't be fancy. Boombox right now can just lick his chops and roll right in, drop the EMP, and ruin their day. Look at this. They're going straight up the top. Boombox, waiting, off the top rope, drops right in, and there's the EMP. Gets what he needs to, and the United Kingdom will be cleaning up what Boombox has started.
They were able to get the sound barrier down, though, so some of them do have extra life, but it is Cruz who busts out the Dragon Blade. You mentioned yesterday that he sweeps with that blade, and more appropriate right there. Will take the Pulse Bomb. No big deal for Cruz. His job is done, and that is a full hold from the United Kingdom on Volskaya first.
Boombox might not be Lucio, but he was definitely dropping some beats. That was a great Sombra performance where really, even when Israel might have gotten a little bit of an advantage, they weren't able to stop him from building up his EMP that quickly. And suddenly Israel now forced in a situation where they will have to get a counter full hold here on Volskaya to keep themselves alive in this map. And here's the really tricky part for them is that they didn't even get a tick. Their best case scenario here is a tie.
That is their best case scenario. The United Kingdom has seen how effective that Boombox's early eliminations are, not only in this tournament, but when he plays in the professional scene as well, and they've really adopted it. The early kill onto Awkward stopped a push very early on. The kill late onto Eco there stopped that late push early on. You combine those two, and that's 30 seconds, 40 seconds on the clock. It also makes sure that their ults are not in the greatest position, so they're really going aggressive on these opportunities that they see.
The other thing, too, is that that final kill on the Eco right before that, what would have been the final push, was really big because it just gave Boombox the world's easiest EMP.
Right.
Because you know that Israel can't really come in and be fancy when they're fighting the clock, in addition to fighting the United Kingdom. So it has now put Israel in a very tough situation where, again, if they can take a single map here, then they open up the possibility of Germany perhaps not taking a map off the United Kingdom, where even if Germany did well today, maybe there'd be a tiebreaker situation. But I think for Israel to stay alive, they do need to get at least one map from the UK in this matchup.
Well, they're no stranger to draws either, so maybe they can draw out here and get a point on the board for themselves. Obviously, they have a strategy that they want to enact here. They did choose Volskaya, a bit of a rarity in the assaults here, and I believe they're going to run this similar Sombra strat. The problem is they have to keep someone on the point. You can't give up any progress, given that the situation that they're in, not able to just stay in the corner and camp on the Sombra pack.
Well, all is right with the world here, Hex. Boombox no longer hacking and is instead the one thing that is vulnerable to getting hacked. He's back on the Zenyatta, and the UK just rolling right up the right side. Not very much contested here. They will have plenty of room to work with as they get to this high ground.
Another standard roll in here as they know exactly the defense is where it's going to be set up, and now both tanks are just going to kind of poke back and forth at each other. This poke can go all the way bad. What needs to happen is UK needs to be able to convert these into kills, but it is Cruz who goes down first.
Cruz is going to fall first, but they are trading out well. Deadly Mitch out of the fight. This gives the UK more room to work with. They don't have to worry about the tank gank in their face. This is actually very scary right now for Israel. Fragon, lucky to leave the fight with his life, but there's the EMP from Eco, but he gets poked down really heavily during it. Able to escape, and Boombox will fall, but this is on the wire right now for Israel.
Israel able to bring it back, though. The EMP really nice, able to convert the kill into Boombox. Of course, when you EMP a Zenyatta, there goes most of his health because it peels all of his shields off. 50 HP is nothing in Overwatch. A soft breeze will kill a Zenyatta who's been EMP'd. That's exactly what happens there. So far, so good for the defense of Israel, but a window now open for United Kingdom, knowing that EMP was used in the last fight.
United Kingdom right now, they still know that they're working with a lot of time. And oh, they catch Caffey. He was in the back. They found him before he could reinforce. And United Kingdom, off of that brilliant attack, has now given themselves a 6-on-5. Israel was not prepared for this.
That's just really intelligent play to know the respawn timers and know that you have a window right there. They're also able to take down Awkward. A 6v4 right now in favor of the United Kingdom. They're going to transcend onto the point as progress starts going. ZP, they're almost there.
Eco was not able to build the EMP. He's out of the fight. Only 3 members remaining right now for Israel actively. Cruz slicing his way through. This is big for the UK. They almost have the tick they need. Israel looking like they will be falling here in Volskaya as the United Kingdom takes back number 3.
It's just so intelligent to know the timer in your head, that you got that kill early onto Caffey, and that he's going to be coming back, knowing the sprint timing, knowing the distance of Volskaya, to just peel off just for a second and take him out and turn that into a completely one-sided fight. 5v6 is an enormous advantage for the 6th team.
And it's something that it kind of reminds me of what you see sometimes in ladder play, where teams will play a little bit more fast and loose with stuff, abuse respawns more, but that's a case where you get to see it in competitive play, where the United Kingdom, like you said, they knew the spawn timer, they got the early soldier pick, and it made that final attack for them relatively easily.
Well, Boombox is a great Zenyatta. We saw his prowess on Soldier 76. Also pretty good on the Sombra, able to charge it up. The Sombra just really requires team effort to everyone play around the pack, get that ultimate up, and post EMP for everyone to chime in. And he's so aggressive on that Sombra. Great play from him.
Boombox has really put on a gem of a tournament here so far, where in Overwatch, I think it's a little bit harder for a support player to quite gain some of the fame that you expect from DPS players, but Boombox is a star. He's been a star over the past year, and he hasn't disappointed so far in his play for his national team in the United Kingdom.
You know what's pretty funny about him too, as we talk about how verbose this United Kingdom team is, the quietest guy on that team is Boombox, because that's the quiet confidence. You don't need to say anything. His play speaks for itself.
He's just laughing silently on the inside as Cruz and Christopher just banter with each other.
Banters, quality bants, good jawing at each other. It's been fun to hang out with those guys throughout the course of the event. They're looking to 4-0 yet again. Israel's got to find something here, got to dig deep and take that 0 off the board.
Israel needs a map here, period. Otherwise, Germany is going to be in a very, very good position in this group, because Germany will be more in control of their own destiny than they otherwise would be. So now we go in the Dorado. No whip cracks this time around.
No, but pinatas. You know, pinatas. So.
Oh, pinatas crack.
I suppose. I've never been able to bust a pinata. I usually swing and I'm blindfolded, I miss, and I usually end up hitting someone.
You know, I didn't get pinatas as a child. I think they were afraid that I would just take out another child's eye.
You are the most uncoordinated human being who's ever walked the planet. The fact that you're able to stand upright for this long is a surprise to many who know you.
I mean, I only sometimes stand upright. I once fractured my shoulder while walking. I just tripped.
You told me that story, and generally I wouldn't believe someone to tell me that. For you, not a doubt in my mind. Not a doubt in my mind. We are rotating on to Dorado. Route 66 was Israel's choice when they told us their favorite escort map, but perhaps just trying anything here. They got to find a way to bring this back in their favor. Escort map here on Dorado is going to be Israel on the defense first. United Kingdom will play offense first. Right now, Boombox has selected the Widowmaker, and generally I'd say probably not going to happen, but hey, Boombox.
Boombox does what Boombox wants. After he comes in on the random 76, it plays the hero. You know what? I feel like he's just earned the right to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I feel like I have to explain what a boombox is to some people, because our younger audience, it was like a big iPod, and it had speakers on it. Yep. That's what a boombox was.
Does anyone remember a cassette tape? That was a thing.
Oh, I do. Remember mini discs?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they were around for like 3 months.
We're old.
Give me back my Zoom. Anyway, United Kingdom needs to win this map to go 4-0 yet again. A lot of 4 Overwatch here so far. Israel, the exception to that rule, trying to do so yet again.
Well, United Kingdom, they are keeping this a little bit more standard. Boombox, not going the truce to the Widowmaker, but will be staying on the Zenyatta. Israel, if they have a point to prove, they need to prove it now. United Kingdom just walking around the payload, but Caffey going to be taken down relatively early here, and that's really going to hurt how aggressive Israel can be on this defense.
Yeah, Caffey trying to make something happen. It does not happen. However, on the flip back, it is Boombox who goes down. Going to really hurt the pushing power. That is losing your support and your DPS, essentially. That's how Boombox has been playing lately. And now Smek's able to take down Fragon. So now the push continues. Offense in a small advantage as far as spawn distance go. Christopher continues to pile on. A slow and steady push for the United Kingdom here on Dorado.
Slow, steady, surgical. The United Kingdom is getting everything they want and more right now on this attack. Israel, off of that early pick where Caffey ended up falling relatively early, they weren't really able to get much momentum and bring this back. So they get one more attempt into the courtyard, but their positioning will be rather tough.
Well, they've also got Cruz up here in the scouting party. The rotation comes in there from them. Cruz does have his blade out. He is looking for the people who have put themselves in the hallway. The sound barrier will stop it for the moment, but 2 down already for Israel.
Big plays coming out here from Cruz. Nothing too flashy, but enough to put United Kingdom over the line. 3-1 in the favor of the UK here as they look to finish out this courtyard stage on Dorado. And yes, they will be finishing out the fight. They get through the checkpoint, and the payload continues to move on.
First point taken. Reels left behind to push and babysit the payload as the rest of the team pushes forward. Door technology and Overwatch slow, so Christopher's going to come back and help. The next point on Dorado is all about the high ground, which is why you see the high ground tanks and why you see Cruz already scouting out the high ground for his team.
United Kingdom going pretty far up, making Reels do a Wins cosplay there for a little bit, but now you take a look at Cruz. Here over the top, surveying the territory. Self-destruct moving in for the UK, and it connects! Down go 2 members of Israel, and already United Kingdom making it look easy right now. This is dominant stuff.
All Israel can do is send the remaining members of their team onto the point just to try to stall it out for a second, because they're not going to win a 2v6. I don't care how good you are. Now, United Kingdom continues their push. Cruz has just been out in front of everything, calling where the team is coming in from, and the rest of his team has reacted. You got to give Smeks credit. There is beautiful placement on the self-destruct.
This next fight is make or break for Israel. If they're not able to take this fight, United Kingdom will have such a momentum going to the third that it would be unthinkable that they would not be able to complete it, barring a really heroic defense. So this is do or die right now for Israel, perhaps for the entire tournament. They're going to be engaging in, but they're being tentative right now. The tanks have to back out a bit. The United Kingdom, it's good play here so far. If they dodge a self-destruct, they can re-engage it. Boombox almost went down, but didn't.
Yeah, Boombox has fallen to self-destruct twice so far today. That is the curse of the Zenyatta. He floats, but he's not very fast, but Boombox does take down Deadly Mitch. It has been all the UK again. Cruz is probably going to be able to hold on to this blade as he finds Pater into the back lines. And yet again, there's only a few left. All that Sean P's been able to do is jump on the cart and hope to buy a few seconds.
The United Kingdom has been playing so incredibly well right now, but Israel just feels demoralized. They're not even putting up a fight in this case. As Mikey, oh my goodness, the split spawn, staggering, finding another 2 kills and clearing the way for the United Kingdom. 4 minutes and 22 seconds left here, Hex. This is an absurd time.
Well, that wasn't just any 2 kills. Those are both supports, and that's going to mean that their support ultimates are going to come online way later. Awkward should have Transcend by now, but he was down in that last fight. They pushed through the doorway. Now, the saving grace is Dorado last can be hard. The self-destruct comes in over the top.
Smeks gets another one. Fragon has been getting the boom lowered on him this entire game here so far as the United Kingdom. They drop the beat. They're out for blood, and Cruz holding onto the blade, might use it here after this Transcendence to really put UK over the top. He's just waiting for it.
No, I think he's styling. I think he wants to finish the map holding onto that blade because he's had it the entire time. There's been an opportunity for use it a few times, but now it's coming back to bite them, and as Israel will find the kills that they need from their team captain, Fragon. And they do stabilize on Dorado last. Now, we've seen Dorado last held for 7 minutes at one point in time, CP, so it's a good defender's map.
You can definitely hold last here. The problem is that they've given the United Kingdom so much time that they get a bunch of high-quality attempts here, and some of those attempts will almost certainly be with an ultimate advantage. So Israel has to drastically up their level of mechanical play from what we saw on points A and B if they do indeed want to hold here and keep their hopes alive.
The economics are a bit even right now, though, so it's all about execution of these ultimates incoming. Pulse bombs might be the deciding factor. Both tracers dancing around looking for those targets early on. Cruz has been holding that blade for quite a while. Will he finally use it? Does not need to there. Takes down Cappy.
Good start here from the United Kingdom. 2 kills early on. Not much invested into the fight here so far. Israel, they drop the self-destruct. They don't quite get what they're looking for. 3-1 in favor of the UK. This could be a victory push right here as Christopher turning this into a party room, going back and forth and regulating space. Israel can barely get out of their spawn.
That's your party room. I understand why your parents didn't give you pinatas. It is dangerous in there. Deadly Mitch comes out just to try to stall. That has been the only thing the tanks can do out here. The sound barrier and Transcend layered over each other. That's a panic move from Israel.
Israel right now, they have to hope for the miracle, but Cruz, he is the miracle breaker. The blade is out. He's out for blood, looking for anything he can get. Will be demeching the Skiva as the United Kingdom fills the kill feed, takes control of the payload, and Israel is running out of lives.
Cruz finally uses that blade to complete Dorado with a little over 2 minutes left. Israel did stabilize towards last, but the first 2 points were all United Kingdom. Now the path to their 4-0 sweep rather clear. Simply stop Israel from completing Dorado.
Here's the other thing here too, is that in terms of times on Dorado, 2 minutes left remaining is very quick. Oftentimes, some teams are not even able to finish out the map because the last point is so defender focused, and you can really drain away a lot of time as people go through first, as people go through second. United Kingdom, they simply flew through first and second, and they gave themselves plenty of time to work with on last. And even for last, they got through relatively quickly. This has put Israel in a bit of a bind.
I really think Cruz was trying to get the whole map without using Dragon Blade. There were some chances for him to use it, and I think he was just trying to, do a little style points there, knowing Cruz, it's not too far out of the realm of possibility. But now Israel, if they don't want to get swept, have to find a way to complete this map. I mean, I don't see a composition change or anything. It's largely just about execution. Towards the end, there's definitely panic, right? You almost never see Transcendence and Sound Barrier at the same time. You don't want to layer your support ultimates like that.
No, you don't. And I mean, for Israel, it will be coming down to mechanical play here, where we did see really good moments out of Sean P earlier in the day, when Israel has been able to support their tanks and really put pressure on the United Kingdom, put pressure on Cruz for his deep dives. They were doing well. The problem is that United Kingdom has been focusing more on Sean P, making his job harder, and also Cruz has been more disciplined. He hasn't been going quite as crazy into the backline, so Israel hasn't been getting as many early picks on the Cruz to really set themselves up.
I agree, Sean should be the focus here because D.Va is so important on this map, because all the high ground that the defenders are just given for free. On first, you see them on high ground right now. On second especially, a D.Va scoop can change fight, going up over the top and knocking people off that second ledge. But it looks like the UK is going to play a pretty aggressive defense here as they're perching up on first rooftop.
Awkward, lucky to get out of the spot point alive. Took a lot of damage there early on, but Israel holding firm. UK, though, still attacking them as they turn the corner. Nothing will be gained for free here for Israel, as United Kingdom is looking to really move in on a relatively aggressive defense. Cruz into the back, Christopher in from over the top, and they find Awkward early on.
Yeah, Cruz called that right there. They're able to double down on him, and Awkward goes down. They also lose a couple more. The only casualty for the side of the United Kingdom was Boombox, who is actually, of all things, on the Ana. The reason that Boombox is on the Ana right now is they wanted to hold these rooftops, and he needs that distance healing to be able to heal his tanks, so we're going to perch up here. Also, Mikey was on the other roof, because they're looking to do this kind of dive and drop down technique.
Well, you can believe that technical reason, but maybe Cruz made a deal with Boombox and said he wants to have a really big highlight to put himself over Christopher, which might include a nano boost onto Cruz. Honestly, knowing what we know about the UK team, that's very likely.
Very possible here. Now they do give up some room, they give up the high ground, and now they're just going to kind of push through Archway. This can be a bit of a difficult spot for the offense to push through unless they've got the tanks, but it is the UK giving up a lot of room, giving up the distance so that Smex can get worked on with his Silver 76.
They're bending back, but it's a smart throwback where now they're going to go back in. Christopher leads the way. Smex, aided by Boombox, able to back out. This is a good disengage. Cruz, though, Dragon Blade out, looking to smile, looking to style, but has to get thrown back a bit here. Doesn't quite get what he wants with the late Nano Blade, or Nano Boost, getting thrown on him.
Yeah, Cruz busted out the blade with about 20 HP. The Sound Barrier, the only thing to save him. He gets the dash reset right there, still going to town on the rest of this team. Not the clean engagement that Israel wanted, but now cleaning up. Both supports down for the United Kingdom, and there goes Mikey to his own pulse bomb, I believe.
And the problem there for the United Kingdom is that they were clearly going for a Nano Blade setup, but because the dive threw Boombox so far back, he wasn't able to make the connection with Cruz until it was too late. And now Israel, just taking it slow and steady, taking apart the United Kingdom and taking advantage of the disarray that we just saw.
I just heard the groan of all the Ana players as there was a good sleep dart and they woke up the Winston right afterwards, but it is Eco who comes in, does get one, but Boombox shuts him down. Not going to be enough though, as Israel gets all of the eliminations they need to secure first point.
Well, we talked about style points on the UK team. Even though that kill from Boombox did not amount to anything, still got some style there, I would say.
A good push, and I like the aggressive positioning that Israel has. They know that the high ground is where they're going to fight, so they try to get up there right now and push them back a little bit. However, given the nature of the cart here and the slow push, almost every time defense will be able to take the high ground, so it's all about the initiation from Israel to take the high ground back.
Israel right now, they're in a very good position here. If they can somehow win this fight, neutralize Cruz when he comes in with the blade, they very well could get through second relatively quickly. They're going to open things up the barrier here, but the barrier doesn't hit everyone. Awkward, not in the right position to really benefit. Cruz blading his way through, and that support ultimate for Israel does not work out, and they will be getting thrown back.
Both supports out of this fight. All the damage is permanent. Deadly Mitch down to 24 HP. Will not survive that as Mikey sees himself an opportunity to go big game hunting and take down Winston. United Kingdom push them all the way back, have themselves a support ultimate and almost a second one too. Israel, 3 minutes on the clock to reach the second checkpoint.
Israel is certainly in a bit of a tough situation here. It might be 3 minutes left, but it takes a while to get through second, and certainly attacking last is no easy task. Awkward, still having the Transcendence, did not get a chance to use it in the last fight. Could be a good engage here, but they're going to have to be careful in regards to how they play this. United Kingdom playing it slow. Christopher dives in, has the Primal Rage out, and Israel thinking that this might be an opportunity, they go with the Transcendence.
Dueling Transcendences. The UK strategy right now is just to fight on and near the cart, never give up an inch for free. They're fighting against the clock. They know if they can bleed the clock, they can win this map and this set. It is Eco in the back line as they do trade out just a little bit, but trades are not going to benefit Israel. They need a decisive one fight. They've been pushing this cart for a while and it's gone almost nowhere.
The United Kingdom is more than happy to give up a little bit of space here while draining a lot of clock. And we've been seeing here very good delay from Christopher. Even though Israel has been perhaps on the winning edge for this fight, they're taking them so long to actually push UK out that this is good for the UK. But Cafe, a double pulse bomb, maybe that's going to be enough for Israel to get some momentum.
Well, the double pulse bomb really only makes it even. Now we're in a de facto 4v4 on the card as the blade comes out from Cruz. He's looking for one. He does take down Awkward, is able to take down Sean as well before he's eliminated by his counterpart, but that's enough. UK has just done these stally, long drawn-out fights, and that's exactly what they need. A little over 90 seconds here, ZP.
I like to imagine Cruz looking Christopher right in his eyes and saying worth after that.
Totally
because that was worth. He got 2 kills. It still buys the UK plenty of time here. So we are down to our final minute and 23 seconds here. Israel, if they're going to find any life, it needs to be now. A sound barrier is on deck, but the United Kingdom is proving rather slippery indeed in over the top.
They've never really contested the high ground. They're just sitting on the low ground, and every time the UK drops down on them, Awkward down, Fragon got down, there goes the healing. No way for them to come back. They have to pull out here. They just don't have the sustain to try to push this card.
And again, Israel, they're getting some trade outs, but it's nowhere near enough. They're not able to get a good presence on the high ground. That's one thing that at this point I do wonder about. Israel's been trying to do this from the ground the entire time. Oftentimes it mix up in Dorado. You can go up the right side. You can find different ways of engaging. And now, with under a minute left, they're going into an incredibly intimidating set from the UK where they have so many ults available.
It's one of the reasons these tanks are so popular is because they can take high ground away. Winston's Leap, Diva's Mobility, they haven't even attempted it. Now they finally put people up. Barrier coming in for Eco. Here comes the blade.
Eco with the blade, looking for an opportunity. Cafe has set the table. Can Eco finish it? Blading his way through, but cannot get anything through that there in the very beginning. However, the rest of it still working out right now for Israel. They're able to set the tone of the fight in their favor, and now the United Kingdom, do they rush out with the Transcendence, or do they simply defend on last? We're about to find out.
And they are going to come out here, and it is only Mikey out there. He gets discorded, but he did put a little stall on here. And that Specs with the visor is able to take down Cappy as the tanks reinforce onto the cart.
And that means Boombox can do it later Transcendence. He wasn't under pressure. Now, this is a fight-saving Transcendence as Cruz gets to work. It's 3 kills from Cruz to finish this out with a bang. United Kingdom now just a little bit away from securing their 4th map victory in the set. Overtime ticking down, and it is going to be United Kingdom taking map number 4.
Clean sweep there for the United Kingdom as they go 4-0 against Israel, who put up a spirited fight, but in the end were unable to find themselves a win in the map in the 25th hour. They almost had second point Dorado, not quite there. And yet again, they talk the talk, they walk the walk. Hard to not like this UK team.
This UK team is great. So many good aspects, whether it be Boombox or the budding romance between Cruz and Christopher.